This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, it's Tuesday afternoon. It's January 24th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. To all of our YouTube viewers, the chatlins, you're just getting in. Shout out, yo, whatever we say to each other to greet one another. We're just getting going in our YouTube live chat, so make sure you get involved there. To all of our 1090 radio listeners, traditional terrestrial radio listeners all throughout Southern California listening on 1090, we're glad you guys are here. And that goes for our podcast listeners and our television viewers starting tonight at 7 o'clock on Channel 4 San Diego. Glad everybody's here. However you're listening, however you're watching, could be on social media where you're just getting clips, whatever. Glad to have everybody here on a Tuesday afternoon. And man, do we got a lot to get to, from NFL playoffs to storylines like the Dallas Cowboys ripping their own quarterback, to baseball news like the Angels are being pulled off the market, to golf news because the Farmers Insurance Open tees off later this week here in San Diego. So just an absolute ton to get to on a Tuesday afternoon. Grande, Brown Man, how we doing today, fellas?
Doing great. Doing fantastic. Can I say something that's very out of nowhere? And Browner might laugh at me. Why did the trade for Rui Hashimura make me excited about the Lakers all of a sudden? It's January 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Trade deadline's still, 2 weeks away?
What is it, February 9th?
February 9th, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another trade coming. I still think they have way too many.
There better be.
They have way too many guards on that team still.
But do you think real quick, do you think that Russ is going to be traded?
No.
Good. Because I'll tell you right now, when they beat Memphis on Friday night of last week, my man had 29 points. I mean, he's playing the way you used to see highlights of Russell Westbrook. You know, whether he was in Washington or whether he was in Oklahoma City, Houston, wherever he was.
Yeah.
You used to see highlights and go, wow, Russell Westbrook, man, that guy, he's a good ball player. But last year he was such a crybaby and a powder, not Powder, pouter.
Yeah.
He's pouting, you know. And then this year, even in the early part of this year, he didn't love the role that they were designing for him. But listen, I like Russell Westbrook again. I went from being a Russell Westbrook, I don't like him, to I love Russell Westbrook. So do you think he's getting traded? You don't think so?
No, I've said that for a while. I don't think he's getting traded. They're not going to give up like him and their 2 first-round picks. I think it's another minor trade, but I think that it's probably those 2 wins too that got me a little excited. They've been very competitive without Anthony Davis, which is encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
The West stinks, which is also encouraging. That's that's genuinely probably, if I'm looking at why do I think the Lakers are going to be okay, it's because the West stinks more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
See, I disagree with that. That's the problem. That Cowboy fans and Laker fans have a lot in common, and this is what they have in common. The West has three to four teams doing the same thing. The Lakers aren't in that bunch though. They have veteran teams with guys who have gotten hurt, and so they're taking their time getting back into shape because they feel like even if they at the bottom of it, they can beat the teams at the top. Like the Lakers don't fear Denver. They don't fear Memphis. They don't fear Phoenix. And at the bottom, the Warriors don't fear the top. The Lakers don't fear the top. And the Clippers don't fear the top. Yeah. And those are the 3 people in the area in which the Lakers are. They're all kind of bushed in.
But I think when I'm talking about excited is I feel like they're watchable again. Which hasn't been the case.
Yes.
You know, this 20 games without Anthony Davis, I think it's 20 games. I think they're 10-9, maybe 11-9. And I am not telling you that they're a championship team. Don't get it twisted at all. I don't think this team is good enough to win the championship. I'm just telling you, it's nice to tune in and not be just incredibly upset at. Remember I told you last year there was the most unlikable Lakers team of all time? Last year I said that, and I still believe that. This year he's still there, but he's a different person this year.
He is in Russell Westbrook?
Yes. Everyone knows who he is. He
No,
is
I
him.
think Russell Westbrook is a totally different guy than he was last year. He was unlikable last year,
Yeah.
and he's actually, in my opinion, lovable this year.
I don't agree with that.
Oh,
but
I love him. I love him. Brody.
No, yeah, 40. Listen, you make $45 million, you shouldn't be winning Sixth Man of the Year.
Mhm.
Bro,
I'm still gonna. I will always bring up $45 million when you
It's
talk about
actually
Russell
47, and that's the role they've designed for him. What can I tell you,
told
brother?
y'all what the difference was going to be.
Tell me.
The only thing difference between last year and this year is the coach. The trash players are pretty much not faceless guys who can put a jersey on to fill out their roster.
They also, like, their guys that filled out the roster are not 38 years old, every single one of them.
Also
there's actual effort, and there's actual energy.
Well,
there's like hope. When you look at the bench and you're looking at Robert, was it Covington? No. Who the hell was it? I don't even remember. Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
Whoever else.
Melo was on that bench.
Melo was fine. There was one guy who came in. Was it Ellington? I don't even remember. I blocked
Duke
that
Ellington?
year. No, I blocked that year out of my Wayne.
Who's Duke Ellington?
All I'm saying is
Green?
looking at Austin Reeves play, Lonnie Walker play, Thomas Bryant has been.
Dude, Thomas Bryant is the man. I love Thomas Bryant.
All I'm saying is I really have slept on it, and I've watched. And you know me, living on YouTube, watching highlight tapes of Rui Hashimura.
Oh boy.
Well, let me just say this.
Be careful with the highlight tape.
Here's the thing.
I know.
I just want to say this. I 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I really wasn't watching. Okay. Now I'm invested. Now I'm in on it. Okay. To the point where tomorrow night we're all going up to a Laker game. Okay. And I want to talk about that in 1 second. But here's what I've been trying to say on the radio up in LA, where it's primarily Laker fans. When you're as competitive as the Lakers have been, when you're this close to beating a Philadelphia and you don't have Anthony Davis and you don't have backup bodies, you're not that far away from beating quality teams. You're good enough to compete. You're not good enough to win. Then, but then they played Memphis last Friday night, and Memphis was on an 11-game winning streak, and the Lakers found a way late to win. And it wasn't LeBron, it wasn't just rely on LeBron. Then they're getting smoked by Portland on Sunday night, when most people probably weren't watching because they'd been sports out. They watched football all day, all weekend. And they were getting smoked by Portland in the first half. And Patrick Beverley, who's not really a great player, but he's a swag guy. He's an attitude guy. Walks into the locker room at halftime and goes, "What the hell are you guys up to? What are we doing?" And gives this speech, whatever it is that he said. It comes out in the second half, and the Lakers make this massive comeback and win. So you beat Ja Morant the night of the Shannon Sharpe incident. You beat Portland when you're getting killed. You win these 2 games. The news is Anthony Davis is not that far away from coming back. And even when he does, he wind up getting hurt again anyway. But you'll take him for what you can get from him. They're just not that far. New coach, a lot of new pieces. West isn't that great. They can make it to the playoffs. And I think you're right, Browner. They're not the bottom guys of the Lakers and the Clippers and the Warriors, who are really the better teams with the name brand guys. They're not afraid of the top guys, even though Denver or Memphis, Sacramento, whatever. The bottom guys aren't afraid of the top guys in a 7-game series. God, we're talking basketball. We're talking some hoops here today.
The Warriors and the Clippers are looking at Sacramento like, please keep winning. Please keep winning. To be perfectly honest with you, the Clippers are looking at Dallas. They're looking at in Denver and going, please keep winning. We know we can beat the 3 of you. We know we can. So I think the issue, though, with Anthony Davis and what you're saying, when Anthony Davis comes back, they're going to have to alter how they play. I think the reason they've gotten better since he's been out is because guys now have defined roles and they know what they're supposed to do. They're not creating this little placeholder for when Anthony Davis comes back. They're doing completely different stuff now because that's what's working when Russ comes into the game. That's what's working with these guys that they have who are now firing on all cylinders against teams like Memphis that you see. When AD comes back, the style of play is going to be altered, and then it's going to alter guys' roles. And so then you're going to need another 10 games for guys to kind of round and shape off that. And that's the issue with guys being in and out through injury.
Well, and that's also the issue that I've been saying when it comes to trades. If you go make little tinkering moves, like Kendrick Nunn meant nothing to this team. He was a non-contributor. I mean, except for a couple of games this year, he didn't play a minute last year, hurt the whole year. Kendrick Nunn is a piece that you take him out and you bring in somebody bigger, more physical, younger, whatever, somebody who might be there long-term and can be a contributor. So little tinkering, I don't mind. I just don't want some major overhaul because of everything you just said, Browner, which is taking time to get everybody on the same page, you know? And the thing about Darvin Ham is, Darvin Ham, we talked about this last year. A guy like Russell Westbrook looked at a guy like, what was the other coach's name? Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel. He looked at him and was like, "Hey, little white man who never played basketball in your life, I'm one of the 75 greatest players, and I'm an all-star and a triple-double machine. Don't tell me. You don't know what you're talking about, little guy." And Darvin Ham, he's like, "Hey, my brother, you played in this league. You grinded to get to where you are. You got, real things in your background that I can relate to. So when you tell it to me, I'll buy it from you where I wasn't buying it from him." And so
And look, and Darvin Ham was well put together. You're not going to chest up on Darvin Ham. Not if you're smart.
Alex, you took us in a totally basketball-y direction here.
Yeah, Lakers been on my mind because of the trade, because of everything that happened with the Vox Media stuff. I've been talking a lot of Lakers in my life. So
you just said the Vox Media stuff, and for anybody that doesn't know, Vox Media is a big media company, and they produce a lot of very popular websites in politics and sports. The one in sports that you would know would be SB Nation in particular. And they've recently had a lot of layoffs. In fact, one of the guys we talk to all the time who was running, as I recall, Alex, wasn't his job. He was running it was Lakers. Was it silverscreenandroll.com? Was he running it, Anthony Irwin?
He was running the podcast network.
Yeah. So Anthony's been on the show a million times because he talks Lakers, and he just got laid off. And they're laying off a lot of guys. And I saw an email from their CEO that said something like, hey, just given the economic times and certain projects that we've started that we expected to get more out of, we got to lay people off. And so that's
they actually, I think well, I could just tell you everything. I don't care. So they laid off 7% of their full-time / part-time employees, but they also are eliminating all podcasts.
Really?
All podcasts.
Really?
So the podcast I did, the channel that I worked for, which was getting 3 to 4 million downloads a year, just going away. It's going away. Every single podcast owned by Vox Media / SB Nation they're all going away.
So they've alerted you that as a part-time person?
I'm not a part-time. I was contracted, so so my podcast is done. I've known for about a week now, but it's official. I think today. I think that news is coming out that all podcast networks are going out. Which is crazy. I was like, dude, that's just stupid.
Well, this is why I said to you guys at the beginning of the year, we're going to go into a recession. I'm not an economist, so don't think I know what I'm talking about here for a second. But in talking to people much smarter than me, they're talking recession, right? So what I'm thinking is that I don't want to get smaller in terms of our show. I want to expand and grow. And to do that, we need to generate more revenue. Well, how are you going to generate more revenue when the economy is slowing, when people aren't spending as much? And my whole thought process, and I know we're only 24 days into the new year, but my whole thought process is growth and creativity, because I think it's going to take being creative to grow. Like we're going to have to come up with new ways of doing things. The ways of doing things the way we have been over the last few years, we took what we knew from radio and we brought it to podcasting and TV and everything else. Now we're going to have to get even more creative for everything you just talked about, Alex, because a company like Vox, which again, the average person driving down the road, they don't know Vox Media like they know ESPN. But
correct.
But if you know SB Nation websites, they're everywhere. And every team, like literally every team in every league has an SB Nation site. And
with a podcast.
And with not a podcast, lots of podcasts. Alex, at silverscreenandroll.com, how many podcasts do you think there were?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
That means 8 to 10 people right there.
Yeah. And it also means that if you've got 30 teams and you've got 5 podcasts per site, you got 150
it wasn't
podcasts
like that.
per league.
Silver Screen and Roll was like, I'm not exaggerating. I think they were like number 2 or 3 for the entire SB Nation. Like it was like the biggest one.
Right. So all I'm saying is just imagine eliminating, hypothetically, 1,000 podcasts. You've been producing podcasts You've been having people produce them and host them and sell them and place them and promote them and everything else that you have to do. Imagine you're a company like Vox Media and you go, done with podcasting.
Crazy.
When most people are thinking that podcasting is the thing, is the way. Yeah, right. Most people are thinking about we got to make podcasts. These guys are eliminating it.
Here's the tidal wave eventually crashes for everything.
Tell me.
It's going to happen to podcasts too. Now, the question is, how are you producing and distributing your podcast? If you work at a place like SB Nation and then they go no more, then you're in trouble now, because now you probably got to start over and try to recollect the listeners that you had. One of the better parts of what we figured out is that we are not owned by anybody else. And so however the tide goes, we can surf the wave because we're not tied to, nobody can cut the string on what we do. And so to the people who are listening to this show,
well, Scott can.
We're not, huh?
Well, Scott can cut the string if he wants.
Well, that's true.
No, but your point is well made. I mean, we do not work for Disney, iHeart,
correct,
Odyssey, and we're not dependent per se on somebody saying, hey, cut that. Let's get rid of these guys. Now, on the other hand, what we are dependent on, though, is our sponsors. And we need more of those, you know? And that's why I always say to people on the air, I mean, since we're having this conversation, is just support the sponsors. I mean, support, if you're going to play cards, you go to 7 Mile Casino. If you're going to buy, cannabis products, you go to Torrey Holistics. If you're going to try and lose weight, you go to iThrive. If you need a new car, you go to Penske. If you're thinking about real estate, you call Gary Cooper. I mean, we have these sponsors, and that's what keeps us independent, you know? And by the way, listen, I'll tell you guys, I don't know long-term future. I grapple with this in my own mind. Is it better to do what we're doing, or would it be better to work for one of those big companies? But once you work for one of those big companies, now you're back in the corporate world. You lose your freedom, so to speak.
Correct. And you're at the whim of what people believe about the economy. I love talking about the economy a lot, because I think there's a lot misunderstood about it. And when the talk of a recession happens, large companies just flush things down the toilet. And so then you become one of those things that circle the drain, because somebody in that building above you thinks that the economy is going to collapse or there's going to be a recession, when there are some people who believe that the things that normally connect for recession aren't connecting. And so it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it.
I mean, if you want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, I'm probably your guy. If you want to really go deep into the economy, I'm probably not your guy.
Yeah, I was watching a documentary that your boy came out in last night. It wasn't really a documentary; it was like a limited series on Netflix about the whole GameStop and GameStonk and all that.
Shit. Yeah,
I was Googling all the terms the entire time. I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
they were explaining it, and I was Googling their explanation.
The series on Netflix is called Eat the Rich.
Eat the Rich. There you go.
What got you watching that?
Boredom.
Yeah. I started White Lotus. You said you've seen the whole series?
White Lotus. Yeah.
So I'm 2 episodes in. Episode 1 got me hooked. Episode 2 bored me, kind of.
It's a series that you're gonna have to finish before you figure out if you like it or not. Like if you quit, you're never gonna get it. If you get to the end and you'll, I can't even ask you what you think until it's over.
What is the how many episodes do you have any idea in both seasons?
7 or 8, I think.
Like not that many, right?
Season? No, I think this last one was 7.
Yeah.
Oh, you could do that.
Yeah, I'm going to take it down.
Like an hour each.
I'm going to take it down. Hey, listen, before we get on with today's broadcast, which will include Marty Gorsuch, who runs the Farmers Insurance Open, which is going to tee off on Thursday, although the Pro-Am and all the festivities are happening starting this week. So Marty Gorsuch will join us. We'll talk to Marty about the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. We'll get there in a minute. Just as far as like a lot of other stuff that we're going to get to today, lots from the NFL playoffs. We've already kind of jumped into some NBA. There's a lot of baseball related news. So we'll get to all that. But before we do, have you guys spoken to one of the all-time great friends, Bernard Thompson, about the Laker game on Wednesday night that we're all going to?
No.
You guys haven't spoken to Bernard at all?
No.
Didn't he text us as in a group, or didn't he like send us a message?
I don't check my Instagram DMs.
So maybe that's where he got us.
Nobody texts me anything, because I didn't get any text from anybody.
Okay, here's the deal. So Bernard,
and I got a lot of racism in my inbox, so I usually don't open it.
Really, a lot of racism.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
people love me.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is this: I could have sworn I got a message from Bernard Thompson
From where though?
I'm trying to figure it out.
On Twitter, DM. I told
You sure about that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I just was looking through my text. I didn't know where it came from. You didn't seem like you knew what was going on.
I didn't talk to him, but I
All
saw
right.
the message this morning.
Here's Bernard Thompson. Yo, fellas. So I talked to Scott on Friday. I've got tickets for the game between San Antonio and the Lakers on Wednesday night. I know Scott says he's got the 710 suite. Since none of y'all want to drive, and since I'm already driving up there, if you guys want to jump in with me, you let me know. So all I'm saying is that, Alex, you got that nice new car.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that Browner and Lawhead are going to stick you for gas. You know?
Okay. No, I was gonna message Bernard. I'm gonna drive because that way I can bail whenever the hell I want.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that control.
You like that?
I don't
freedom.
like to be beholden to. I'm sticking around till the end of the fourth quarter to watch the Spurs and the Lakers. You know.
Okay. So so Browner and Lawhead, it's like, hey guys, I'm out of here.
Yeah, you can stay with Bernard or stay with Scott or leave
catch a
with
ride. Yeah, catch a ride with Bernard, catch a ride with Scott, but I'm out of here.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to us having a good time tomorrow night.
Very much so. But I'll tell Bernard I'm gonna drive. I like that. You know.
Maybe you should drive with you.
Sometimes you got Irish goodbye it, you know?
I know. All right, stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We're just getting going. Marty Gorsuch from the Farmers Insurance Open is going to join. We're just getting rolling on a Tuesday. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. 2, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case, through sport in San Diego.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
People often ask, when should I call a lawyer after a car crash? If you're injured, then you should call 911 and seek medical attention right away. Then, assuming the crash wasn't your fault, you should call a lawyer as soon as it's safe to do so. There are several reasons why. First, it ensures that your legal rights are being protected while you focus on your health. Second, getting an investigation started immediately can be vitally important, since the physical evidence at the crash scene, surveillance video, or witnesses may not be around for long. Third, unfortunately, insurance companies may not have your best interests in mind and may try to take advantage of the situation knowing that you are not yet represented. They may try to take recorded statements or make lowball offers. Put it this way, calling a lawyer is free. The cost of not doing so could be quite expensive.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Most people never expect to get into a crash or trip over a hazard and fall, and they certainly don't expect that it could lead to life-altering injuries. Most of us assume it's just an ache. It'll go away. I'll be fine. And luckily, usually they are right. But unfortunately, some injuries aren't obvious, and the adrenaline of the incident may mask the seriousness of your condition. Plus, when the injury is due to someone else's negligence, then you will have to prove that your injuries are from that incident and not something else. So not only is it important for your health to get checked out to rule out that anything is serious or even potentially life-threatening, it's also important to document your injuries as closely to the event as possible in a medical record. Otherwise, the insurance company will try to use that gap in treatment as proof that your injury is not related to the incident.
Surf soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank's sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing, because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
This is the #1 advice I give to my friends and family. Get the most uninsured motorist, UIM, underinsured motorist coverage that you can. Here's what happens all the time. After a car crash, you have a ton of medical bills, you're out of work, and don't know what the long-term effects of what your injuries will be. Then you find out that the driver who caused the car crash only has $15,000 in insurance. And you say, good thing I'm fully insured. You have good liability, collision, med pay, but only $15,000 in UIM. In that scenario, you and your family are not covered by your insurance at all, and you will be limited to only $15,000 in defendants available coverage. The premiums for UM and UIM are not expensive, so do yourself a favor, check what your UIM policy amounts are, and make sure at a minimum they're the same as your liability coverage.
What do you want, Anthony?
I'm in town for a big presentation. It's due after the end of the year. My computer got damaged.
What about the backup?
It was in our luggage and it got lost.
On New Year's? I thought you needed me, but apparently you're doing fine, so I...
Would crying have been any better?
Always the charmer.
Jess, I'm sorry about what happened.
It's midnight. Happy New Year's, my friends.
Yeah, super romantic.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. and visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those with all types of lung disease and long COVID symptoms.
Surf soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank's sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing, because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. What's happening on a Tuesday afternoon? This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studio, 7milecasino.com. Hey, you're looking to play blackjack, poker, table games. You want really great food and bar. Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, Sammy's Woodfire Pizza is in 7 Mile Casino. And you want the best location just 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego? That's 7 Mile Casino. You are a winner. If you got any problems with gambling, you call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I'm telling everybody right now, if you like playing poker and you like supporting the show, you play at 7 Mile Casino. And their website is 7milecasino.com. All right, fellas, we said yesterday that the story of the week will be Patrick Mahomes and his ankle. If Patrick Mahomes is not 100%, and there's no way he's going to be by Sunday, not based on what happened during the game and what we all saw, based on what we've all learned over the years about high ankle sprains and how they impact athletes, etc. They can tape them, they can rehab them, they can shoot him up for pain, but he's not going to be 100% Patrick Mahomes. Now, is 75% of Patrick Mahomes better than 100% of Chad Henne? Probably so. Is 75% of Patrick Mahomes, if he's even that high, is it enough to beat Cincinnati? Don't know yet. Because Joe Burrow, in his career thus far, against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, 3-0. How does Vegas have this game, given the Mahomes injury and Cincinnati being on fire the way they are and winning in Buffalo on the road in the divisional round? Let's take a look. Go ahead, Grande.
Well, the Chiefs started as favorites, 1-point favorites. And as of this morning, the Bengals are now a 1.5 favorite on most. Some sports books even have it as a 2-point favorite.
Just, by the way, since Alex has this up on the screen, Bengals this morning, 1.5 favorites. Eagles versus Niners. Philadelphia, a 2.5-point favorite. So if you're just doing the math at home and you think that, Philadelphia is at home, therefore that's 3 points. I think a lot of people really, they believe San Francisco are going to win this game. I don't know how you guys feel. I know it's only Tuesday.
San Francisco's going to win this game?
I give San Francisco, it's a 50-50, 51-49 kind of shot. Philadelphia at home is the one small advantage because it's a crazy place to play, and it's a West Coast team going East Coast. And even though the timing, I'm not, so sure that's going to play a role in the game. It's just, it's close. It's a close game.
So what did the Cowboys do well that we loved against Brock Purdy? They pressured him. They made him uncomfortable. And I asked, can the Eagles replicate that? Little crack research.
Yeah, tell us.
Philadelphia Eagles have the third most sacks in the history of the NFL
this season
in a season by a team.
Really?
1984 Bears, 82. 1985 Bears, 80. 2022 Eagles, 75.
Wow.
Second closest was the Chiefs at 55.
Bears.
So I'm just telling you, I think I've loved the Eagles for a long time. And because if it was, and this is going to sound ridiculous to some people, but if it was Jimmy Garoppolo there, I might lean Niners. But because it's a rookie, inexperienced, I don't know what he's going to do. He shows signs of being a rookie against a very veteran defense, against a very good offense. I like the Eagles. And I kind of, right now, I know I changed my mind maybe, but I kind of like them to cover too.
See, yesterday I said I'm slightly favoring the Eagles. I still haven't changed from slightly, and I think it's only slightly because of the guy playing quarterback, man. I think that if what Dallas showed on what they've now put on tape, I believe the Eagles can duplicate that. And they have more pass rushers than Dallas does and a better secondary or an even secondary. So I don't necessarily know if some of those balls that he was throwing the past couple of weeks that were an inch away from being picked off, in this game, those balls are going to get picked off because this team is going to speed you up an inch. They're going to speed you up a millisecond. And that's been the difference between whether these floaters he's throwing are getting picked off, or Kittle's turning them into some crazy catch
The Eagles
that will live on forever.
The Eagles had 4 guys with double-digit sacks this year.
Tell us the numbers and tell us the players.
Hassan Reddick, 16. Javon Hargrave, 11. Brandon Graham, 11. Josh Sweat, 11.
Wow.
Their defensive tackles throwing up Aaron Donald sacks, and Hargrave.
The 49ers are going to run the ball 50 times in this game if they're smart. And they are. Kyle Shanahan is one of the smartest offensive creators in the league. I think they're going to be very run heavy. I don't think this is you zig, so we're going to zag. This isn't someone they're going to come out throwing, because that would be a bad idea. I think they're going to try to run the ball down the Eagles' throat. I think that's their best course of action.
Well, so we were starting to talk about Mahomes and his injury, and we'll get there back in a second. But since we started in on Philadelphia, San Francisco, it gives me just a second to go back to Dallas for just 1 minute here. The after effects of Dallas losing. And we talked a lot yesterday about Dak Prescott and was he worth it when they signed him? Why did they sign him to that deal? You know, is it better to sign a guy who you already know rather than start over from ground zero? And so Dak Prescott now, 2 days after the fact, now I'm watching all these ESPN shows, and what they're doing is they're dissecting his contract. What is it? What kind of a cap hit is it? Should they not have him? How much more guaranteed money is there? When do they get to a point where there is no more guaranteed money? I mean, what is happening, at least the question marks in the media are, can the Cowboys find a way to get out from underneath this contract the way a few years ago the Rams traded Jared Goff when no one thought they could get out of that, the way this year Derek Carr was let go by the Raiders when most people said there's no way they're getting out of this kind of a deal. If I'm the Denver Broncos, no joke, I'm literally watching what Dallas does with Dak, because if there's a creative way to find your way out of the Dak Prescott business, maybe the Broncos might want to get out of the Russell Wilson business, or any quarterback around the league that is overpaid and underproducing. An organization might look. I don't know if Dallas is going to be able to do anything because the numbers say they're stuck, but the numbers are being analyzed in a way. And I think it's mostly because the Cowboys as an organization sent out a tweet. This is from the organization. This isn't some radio host in Dallas. This isn't some columnist in Dallas. This isn't Stephen A. Smith, right? This is the Cowboys.
The writer that works for Cowboys.com.
Right. So, Browner, when you said 2 weeks ago that whoever from the Chargers social media department should get fired for that receipts video they did in advance of the Jacksonville game, look at what a Dallas Cowboy employee put on Twitter from the Dallas Cowboys account. This person isn't not nameless with 200 Twitter followers. This is from the Cowboys. Alex, if you could read this to everybody, please go ahead.
Dak Prescott gave away the ball twice in the narrow loss to the 49ers, and a matchup the Cowboys had a chance to win if they didn't again generate self-inflicted wounds.
I mean, that might as well be Stephen Jones, Jerry's kid, at the controls of the Dallas Cowboys Twitter account, and them going, this mother effer again, turnover.
I'll do you one better.
Again. Go ahead.
Jerry wrote that. Jerry wrote that. Jerry had it with Dak. Jerry has had it with Dak, bro. Jerry is so mad. Apparently, he canceled his radio show that was supposed to be yesterday. Jerry mad.
I don't know what's up with the Cowboys, like social media in general, because if you just read their articles from that night, there's another one that says the 49ers had more weapons than the Cowboys going into the game, and with the loss of Tony Pollard, definitely had way more ammunition in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, who puts that on their own social media? You could, like, I know that NFL teams employ writers to write things, but these are like headlines that you're like, what's going on here?
The people who work for the teams are supposed to be, in theory, writing supportive content.
Yeah.
You know,
correct.
So like when the Cowboys lose, the in-house media department should be writing excuses, not blaming.
Right.
Leave the blame for the outsiders. You push the excuse game. You try and convince people.
Never quit. Battle to the end. basic social media stuff.
Cowboys injured but fought to the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Cowboys lose a tough one. Get them next year.
Put a final score and don't put LeBron on the graphic. You know what I mean? Like it's just everybody got their own thing.
So
Dak, they instead of going Dak sucks, so we lost because Dak sucks.
Do you,
Jerry Jones?
All right, make a prediction though on this. You ready? The Chargers, when they lost, heads rolled. Offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, there was a linebacker coach, heads rolled.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody had to go. Somebody had to be scapegoated. You're the Cowboys. Whatever happened to the Chargers, the Cowboys, you can multiply it by 10,000. That's how much more attention there is on the Cowboys than there is on the Chargers. So my question is this: do heads roll? And if so, which head?
No. And here's why. Because Jerry Jones hired all these people. Jerry Jones has personal relationships with all these people. Like, they think the offensive coordinator should be the next head coach. So he's not firing him. They're piling on Dak because it's Dak's fault. And so everybody in the organization, he's vastly overpaid. That's why I think Jerry wrote this tweet. He's vastly overpaid. So Jerry's like, this is what I paid you for. I paid you to take this.
Well,
this part of them. If you can't throw touchdowns, you're gonna have to take criticism. So you're gonna have to take this, big boy. You're gonna have to wear this, and I hope it makes you better.
That's what happens when you get paid that much money. That's part of your job.
Absolutely.
And Jerry, after the game, said, and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty close here. Jerry said after the game, I thought our advantage was the quarterback position. So I thought coming into the game, our advantage was quarterback. Now I know that their rookie, 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, guy who's played 7 games in his career, that guy didn't turn the ball over. And my guy, who I'm paying $50 million a year, who's become a star, not because of his game or his success, but because of who he plays for and the brand that's on the side of his helmet. That's why a guy got commercials during games. My guy's getting paid $50 million a year, and I got knocked out in the division round. That guy's a rookie in his 7th game who's Mr. Irrelevant. And by the way, I got a guy on my team that might be just like him, who won a whole bunch of games for us this year, and I'm paying this guy $50 million a year, and this is the result I get.
Going into the fourth quarter, it was they gave up 9 points, 3 field goals. Like, if the offense did anything for the Cowboys, like, it would have a completely different game. Anything. If they would have done anything. It was 9-9 going into the fourth quarter. 9-9. This is your $35 million quarterback and your $16 million running back. They're still there. CeeDee Lamb's still there. Schultz still there.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys know? I don't know. I didn't know this. I happened to see this
yardage back of all time.
I saw this on ESPN last night. I did not know this. Patrick Mahomes. Was it Patrick Mahomes? No, excuse me. It was Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, when he was at Oklahoma, Brock Purdy was at Iowa State, and these guys went toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that Jalen Hurts' star receiver at Oklahoma was? Do you guys know who that was? CeeDee Lamb. I didn't know. I mean, like, I never really watched enough Oklahoma football or Iowa State football to put these things together. But they have this great video of Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy after that game, Oklahoma and Iowa State, like hugging it out. Little did they know that, like, 2 years later, maybe 3 years later, these two guys would meet in the NFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts was on course. I'm not sure Brock Purdy was really on course to be an NFL quarterback.
Brock Purdy's on the course he's supposed to be. He was the last pick in the draft.
Youngest,
where he's supposed to be.
They are the youngest quarterback combination in the history of an NFC Championship game.
Right.
Crazy. By the way, Zeke is on the hook. They're on the hook for so much money with Zeke.
It's amazing how Ezekiel Elliott has gone from being their number 1 guy and they paid him like that to now their number 2 guy. And when Pollard got hurt, it was like, oh, we're screwed.
Yeah.
If you're Ezekiel Elliott,
if you're Pollard,
they wouldn't even give it to him.
If you're Pollard's agent, you're just like, watch what happened when I left.
Yeah.
Listen,
watch what happened when I left.
If I'm Pollard's agent, boy, you ain't gonna see me nowhere near any Cowboy camp. I'm finna do what Zeke did. I'm going to Cabo. I'm going to Cancun to somebody pay me. No thanks.
All right, let me get back to the Chiefs then and Mahomes, because that's where this whole thing started. It just turned into Giants, Niners, and then it turned into Eagle or Cowboy fallout. And I'm going to get us back on track here to Mahomes because Andy Reid will do this every day for us. He'll give us the Mahomes update. So we'll get there in just 1 second. Before we do, Alex, quick update for us. iThrive. You said that you were going to iThrive yesterday and that you were going to increase your iThrive lean dosage because you're already down 30 plus pounds. What happened yesterday?
I went to iThrive yesterday. They were so busy in there. But yeah, I got my injections for this month, and it was a lot. It was a big old dosage in there. So we'll see. I may not eat all week now, depending how I feel. But yeah, I did the injection this morning, and yeah, we'll see.
You said they were really busy there. It seems like for all the different services that they have at iThrive, I've talked about testosterone, I've talked about IVs and hydration and taking in vitamins and having them absorbed. But the one thing that has been most successful is the iThrive Lean program because everybody wants to lose weight. It's FDA approved. It's guaranteed. You're saving $200 a month for the first 3 months. You say it was like crazy busy there.
Super busy. Like it looked like one of our old IV lounge like get-togethers. It was every chair was packed. The doc, I was like, "Yo, how's Mammoth?" He goes, "It was great, man. I'm really busy. You got to go." And I was like, "All right, dude, go for it. Go do your thing." So, yeah, good for them.
Go to our website, kaplanandcrew.com. Click on the iThrive logo. You can read all about iThrive Lean. You can start losing weight without having to change your diet, without having to change your lifestyle. Alex has lost 30 plus pounds in 3 months. And if you use the 3-month plan, you save $200 a month. If you still want to keep going and lose weight, the price is going to jump up a little bit, but you may lose so much weight in the first 3 months, you might be done. So call them 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497, or use our website, kaplanandcrew.com to learn more about iThrive Lean. Okay. So this whole conversation started with Patrick Mahomes and his ankle. Can we get our daily Andy Reid? He's on Zoom and the computer's looking up into his nostrils kind of a deal. Can we get the update from Andy Reid, audio and video?
No, he's worked hard in the treatment and is doing okay. Yeah.
Coach, just staying on Patrick, you had mentioned he went through this week 1 of 2019. How similar is this issue, and how much do you anticipate it'll help that he's already had to deal with this at another time?
Yeah, he told you guys. I mean, he mentioned it to you that he's going to play. So I mean, that's his mindset, and then we'll just take it day by day and see how he does.
Andy Reid doesn't want to say anything, obviously, and he isn't going to say anything. And these reporters are going to keep firing questions at him every day, and he's never going to say a darn thing. He can be friendly about it, unlike Belichick, who's usually pretty nasty about it. But Andy Reid he'll be nice enough, but he ain't going to say anything. I'm actually surprised that Andy Reid is even in a television commercial. Like, he's famous, and he's a Super Bowl champion coach, and he's generally perceived as a likable guy, although I can tell you, man, having worked around the Chiefs, he ain't a fun guy to be around. And the Chiefs as an organization, they are the most paranoid group of people, and it's all because of him, because he's a paranoid nut when it comes to this, to the way the media kind of lurks around. But
I mean, because the surrounding of Andy Reid's a dumpster fire, and so therefore,
what do you mean?
Probably needs, like what his son did, and I just think that the way that his personal life has spilled out, like, yeah, I don't want people sniffing around.
Well, I mean, I hadn't thought of it that way. I really hadn't. But he's just not going to tell us anything.
What is there to say?
No,
we all saw the video. We all saw the video. We all know he's not going to be 100%, and we all know he's going to play on Sunday.
No doubt. No doubt.
See, I think he's going to be fine. I think it looked gross, and there's so many people who say, "Well, I had a high ankle sprain, and this is when it was worse, and this is how I felt. There's no way he's going to play." Look, man, we don't know the severity of it. We just know it was a high ankle sprain.
He's going to play.
100%.
He is playing no matter what. The question is, what is he? Alex.
I saw a TikTok last night from Browner's boy Nick Wright, one of those shows that he's on.
Come on,
and
man,
they were
don't do
doing the
that to me.
AFC quarterback rankings, because that's all they do on television is rank things.
Yeah,
And
that's it. That's it.
literally all they do. So he went number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Joe Burrow. Don't ever bring up Josh Allen again. And then number 3, Patrick Mahomes on one leg. And it made me laugh, but Mahomes has this perception around him that that's how good he is. That with one leg he can still beat you, he can still do amazing things. And we're gonna finally really put it to a test. He's not gonna be at 100%. I'm not a doctor.
No.
I saw that video. No one in the world would be 100% on Sunday, and he runs a lot. Not really like Lamar, obviously, but I'm saying he scrambles a lot, gets out of the pocket a lot.
Quick twitch activity.
He throws the ball on the move outside of the pocket.
And now it's his right foot, which is the push-off leg, which is going to affect his throws. It is what it is.
You hear that?
I think we're gonna see a lot of Isaiah Pacheco. I think we're gonna see a lot of Jerick McKinnon. I think we're gonna see a lot of screens, a lot of dump offs. They're gonna get the ball to Kelsey within 5-10 yards. That's what they're gonna do.
Right. And they're
Andy
gonna
Reid
keep
is
him in the pocket.
and the same way we perceive Mahomes as being superhuman on the football field, we all perceive Andy Reid as being this offensive genius that comes up with crazy ass plays. I'm expecting a lot of small, quick, crazy ass plays.
Yeah. You can't roll them out. And you know what they're going to take from him? I know we got to hustle up. What they're going to take from him is his ability to just kind of improvise. He's going to be in the pocket. That's where he's going to be sitting.
Yeah.
How about that, Browner?
Oh, no, I was going to say the first play is going to be a bomb.
Well, that's not a terrible idea, but it's going to be thrown from the pocket. All right, stick around. Hey, Tom Brady goes off on Jim Gray. We'll get to that story next. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build. Our team starts by modeling your project in 3D based on your lifestyle goals and budget, making adjustments along the way simple and accurate.
We're always motivated to strive for excellence. There's kind of not another way to be.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com. Our family, your home.
Hola, I'm J.R. Cardenas.
And I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
We're the hosts for Su Vida, where we showcase California restaurants, music,
art, culture, and so much more.
We would love to talk to you about featuring your business on our show.
Yes, and as an added bonus, you get to keep the professional video segment to repurpose and use on your website or social media channels.
Please click on the link below to get more information about how to put your business on Su Vida.
We hope to hear from you soon.
When you're in pain, you need physical therapy that works, but you want to feel safe during these times. At La Mesa Rehab, your health is our business. We screen each patient, provide masks, and constantly sanitize our private individual treatment areas so you can focus on healing. The foundation of our physical therapy is education. Our therapists care and guide you through the healing process. Ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab.
The best care you can have at La Mesa Rehab.
When doors open for kids, they change lives. For over 75 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego has been opening its doors to provide a safe place for kids whenever they are out of school. A place with caring mentors and opportunities to focus on academic success, healthy lifestyles, and character building. At the club, we do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid that walks through our doors by inspiring, empowering, and changing lives.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.